Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, be aware that the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
The atoms in your left hand probably came from a different star than your right hand.
It is our basic human right to be fucked up.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Welcome to Occulte Veritatis.
Hey.
I'm Sage.
I'm Leon Filger.
I'm Ood Gallifrey.
All right, so let's do What's Your Poison?
So, what's your poison?
I brought beer from my fridge.
Yes. Fridge beer.
Yes, just fridge beer. And it is Great Western Classic. It's just a lager that's brewed here where we record.
Yeah.
Turn your shit off.
There we go.
Thank you.
There, now I'm being professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 20% of our audience is still originating from Saskatoon right now. So those are our friends, family, people who found random business cards, and any of you are going to know what this is.
If you have found our podcast through random business cards, please let us know.
Because I've been leaving them on people's windshield wipers, so definitely let me know.
If you live in my apartment building, you may have found them in your mailbox. So try and guess which one I am.
Ooh, sneaky. Can we do that?
Sneaky.
Do I live next door to you? Yeah, but we're drinking Great Western Classic, extra aged.
Well, it's good.
That's fine.
It's union made.
Yeah, it is union made.
And it's made in downtown Saskatoon.
Yep.
It's a 10-minute walk from where I live.
No, you don't live here.
Where I stay when we're podcasting.
It's a 10-minute walk from where you stay when we're podcasting.
Yeah. We only do these once every 3 weeks. We pyre off 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. And I just come and couch surf.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm here in from Wetaskiwin.
Well, after you drink and get high, it's a big drive home. So, you had to rent out that little bordello by the river.
Well, I mean, it's a long drive in from Wetaskiwin, and I was born and raised here. I only lived in Wetaskiwin for several years. I don't know, whenever I started working for the health region there.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, yeah, but I come back to town at least once every 3 weeks to podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm never going to be able to rate these things logically or with any sort of
flair or knowledge.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate this higher than I should because it just tastes like a fresh, crisp, clean, classic beer, like a 5 out of 10. But this is what I drank in college. I drank Great Western all through college, so it's getting a +2 nostalgia point bump. So I'm gonna give this 7 out of 10 because this reminds me of good times and playing beer darts.
Well, I will rate this a 6 out of 10. I like this beer. It's the beer that we have in our fridge often.
Yeah. Yeah, and it tastes like home. It tastes like relaxing.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this 3 abolishing the property classes out of 17 seizing the means of production.
Oh, I like that rating.
Oh, okay. I'm going to give it 3 bullseyes out of 4.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep my rating.
Yeah, out of 10.
I'm boring.
Yeah.
No, you're not, Sage.
Well, whatever.
You're thrilling.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, because Ood and Leon both have their cool, fun games that they play at the beginning of their podcasts, I decided that I should probably have mine. Yeah. Call out an asshole.
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
Fuck you, asshole.
And on this episode, I'm going to call out Ken Shoveldayoff.
Yes! Fuck him.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do. He's an ass kisser.
He's an ass kisser.
Wait. Is he that guy that was being all homophobic in local government?
Well, that's Brad Trost, who is, I'll also call him out.
They're similar, yeah. They're both cockmonglers.
Oh, of the same ilk.
They're of the same ilk. So Ken Shoveldayoff is currently in the running to become the leader of the Sask Party.
And the premier of the province of Saskatchewan.
Yes, and the premier of the province of Saskatchewan. And he thinks that abortion in all cases, even in cases of rape and incest, are wrong. So basically, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Oh, he also, did you see his bit about racism lately?
No, what did he say?
Oh my God, this is incredible. He was interviewed by the media and he was asked, is racism a problem in Saskatchewan? And he said, no.
What?
He said, no, it is not. He said, I grew up in Blaine Lake. I was just a few kilometers away from a couple of reserves. There's good in all the people in Saskatchewan. And so, no, there's definitely no racism in Saskatchewan. He said that and he believed it.
What do people think when they say that? Or do they think like, well, I haven't personally seen a lynching or somebody being dragged behind a vehicle, so it can't be racism, right?
Well, it's easy to say when you're white in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, a white male, like, farmer guy.
A white male douchebag. And I've known Ken Shoveldayoff for 15 years through friends.
Don't you own his chair?
I can neither confirm nor deny the ownership of his chair.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that.
No, he's always kind of been a fuckface. He's been a blowhard. I remember him from Christmas parties when I was a kid. He was really full of himself. He had money and he made sure you knew about it. He has no business being the premier of this province, or really the premier of a Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. Yeah. He just basically sucks.
I think if you're listening to this right now, we're going to slap Ken Shoveldayoff's email address up on the show site.
Yeah.
Take a look at, we'll also post a link to that interview that I was talking about with the racism and whatnot.
Nice.
So yeah, finish listening to this podcast, listen to our previous 5-6 episodes, listen to all of them, and then give Ken Shoveldayoff a piece of your mind.
Yeah.
26 years ago, this man murdered and ate a woman in Paris. He has never stood trial. Today he walks the Tokyo streets a free man with an ongoing appetite for human flesh.
Today I am doing Issei Sagawa, whose name you may recognize because he's really notorious. I'll do a little preamble about when he was born.
My mouth is just watering.
No, it should be, because this is going to be a delicious episode.
Yep. Hope you're eating hopefully pork, because that seems pretty. Yeah, if you're not eating pork, just dig some pork chops out of the oven and just like cook them and all that.
I don't dig pork chops out of the oven.
All right. You dig them out of the freezer.
Well, I don't eat meat anymore, but yes, my husband digs them out of the freezer when he wants pork chops. Yeah. So Sagawa was born in Kobe in the Hyogo Prefecture in Japan. He came from a really wealthy family. He was born prematurely, reportedly small enough to fit in the palm of his father's hand, so like super preemie. And he was immediately afflicted with enteritis. He was immediately afflicted with enteritis, which is a disease of the small intestine.
Inflammation of the bowels.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
And that's as a baby?
Yeah, as like a preemie baby.
So, it must be hard to diagnose a baby. I know this is off topic, but like, how do doctors diagnose where the pain is coming from if they can't communicate with the patient?
Well, you can do like
shitting. The baby's shitting. Wrong. It's a bad shitting. Yeah. When you have like gastroenteritis is like puking and shitting disease. So it's just enteritis. It's a acute or chronic inflammation of the smaller large intestines and colon, and it's pretty easy to diagnose.
Nice. But he did eventually recover with several injections of potassium and calcium in a saline solution. So, as I'm sure you've guessed, with our talk about pork, Sagawa first experienced cannibalistic desires while in the first grade after seeing a male's thigh. In a 2011 interview with Vice, he reported that as a youth he partook in bestiality with his dog and experienced cannibalistic desires for women. So at the age of 23, in Tokyo, Sagawa followed a tall German woman home, then broke into her apartment while she was sleeping with the intent to cannibalize her by tearing and walking away with a small part of her flesh.
Jesus.
Yeah. So she awoke, and Sagawa claims, so take this with a grain of salt, pushed him to the ground. He was captured by police and charged with attempted rape. He did not confess his true intentions to authorities. So this is information that was found out after.
So he just let it slide that it was a rape. I wasn't trying to eat her.
Yeah. So in 1977, at the age of 27, Sagawa emigrated to France to pursue a PhD in literature at the Sorbonne in Paris. He claims that while residing in Paris, this is a quote, "Almost every night I would bring a prostitute home and then try to shoot them, but for some reason my fingers froze up and I couldn't pull the trigger."
Jesus, like, how long did it have to go on before, like, one of the sex workers would report it?
Yeah, and 4 lighters.
Yeah, they're neon green. They're nice.
Like, just in case you need them.
Yeah.
Just in case you lose 3 of them.
I know I'll need fire, because I know I'll lose them all eventually.
Yeah, I'll probably steal one. Like, I'll probably get home tomorrow and have one in my pocket.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So anyway, it's okay, Daniel, I love you.
Magic of editing.
Yeah. On June 11th, 1981, Sagawa, who was then 32 years old, invited his Sorbonne classmate, whose name was Renée Hartevelt, to dinner at his apartment under the pretext of translating poetry for a school assignment.
Ooh.
He planned to kill and eat her, having selected her for her health and beauty, characteristics he believed that he lacked. He described himself as weak, ugly, and small, so he was 5 feet tall, so short. After she arrived, she began reading poetry at a desk with her back to him. He shot her in the neck with a rifle. So that was a pretty big kaboom.
Yeah.
Sagawa said he fainted after the shock of shooting her, but awoke with the realization that he had to carry out his plan.
Oh, he fainted afterwards?
Yeah, he fainted afterwards. But
So
then he woke up and he's like, no, fuck, I gotta do this.
So I guess technically, like, if he was a serial killer, he'd be a product killer, because the killing itself, like...
It was not, the killing itself wasn't a good experience for him.
Mm.
He raped her corpse, but was unable to bite into her skin.
Well, no, hold on here.
Yeah.
With his corpse raping.
Yeah.
Which hole is he using? Or is he carving more holes and using those?
No, he hasn't been able to cut her yet. So
she's still intact.
How dead is she? Because if they're dead long enough, you can kind of just poke holes in them without a knife.
No, she's not super dead. She's just like low-key dead. He raped her corpse, but was unable to bite into her skin, so he left the apartment and purchased a butcher knife. For 2 days, Sagawa ate various parts of her body, saving the other parts in his refrigerator. He then attempted to dump her body into a lake in the Bois de Boulanger.
What's that?
It's a lake.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was seen in the act and arrested by the French police. When he was caught, he was carrying 2 suitcases, and those suitcases contained the dismembered parts of Renée Hartevelt. Sagawa's wealthy father provided a lawyer for his defense after being held for 2 years without trial. Sagawa was found legally insane and unfit to stand trial by the French judge, whose name was Jean-Louis Brugier, who ordered him held indefinitely in a mental institution. After a visit by the author Inuhiko Yomoda, Sagawa's account of the murder was published in Japan under the title In the Fog.
So like when Japanese people come to North America and they have names like Takeshi Honda, which is the name of a Japanese figure skater, and he's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Takeshi Honda.
Takeshi Honda.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do they know we can't pronounce their names? Like when they go over there, they're like, they're not going to be able to pronounce their shit, so we won't be offended? Or do they like, fuck, they can't pronounce our names? Because my last name is Filger, Filger, and sometimes they say it Filger, which is fine. But Yakatamihushi Shamari is not as bad as the Chinese or the Russians.
Well, it's just because we have the privilege of growing up in a society where lots of people have similar last names. Like we're used to our
Ukrainians.
We're used to our super white last names, right?
I know.
Like Murray. How can you mess that up?
That's pretty. Who's Gallifrey? What the hell's the origin of your last name?
Gallifrey is actually a planet where the Time Lords live. My parents were a big fan of the.
So they picked their last name. They changed their last name.
Yeah. Well, my last name anyway. My brother and sister got to keep the last name, but I got a new one.
That's pretty incredible. You got a new last name.
Yeah.
How old were you when that was chosen?
6.
Are you serious? They changed your name at 6?
Yeah.
Did you have input, or was it just like, here's your new name?
I don't think I had input. I think they just dragged me down to the courthouse.
That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Badass story, man. Right on.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sorry, I apologize for the digression, but I did not know that about Ood.
That's okay. All good. We're learning new things all the time.
We've been friends for a decade. I have no idea.
Now you know.
Sagawa's account of the murder was published in Japan under the title In the Fog. Sagawa's subsequent publicity and macabre celebrity likely contributed to the French authorities' decision to deport him to Japan, where he was immediately committed to the Matsuzawa. He was immediately committed to the Matsuzawa Hospital. Examining psychologists there all declared him sane and found sexual perversion was the sole motivation for the murder. Yeah. Because charges in France had been dropped, the French court documents were sealed and were not released to Japanese authorities. Consequently, Sagawa could not legally be detained in Japan. He checked himself out of the hospital on August 12th of 1986 and remained free. And
Why couldn't he be legally detained?
Because it had been thrown out in France.
Jesus. So just scot-free.
Yeah. So Sagawa's continued freedom has been widely criticized. Like, he's out.
Jesus.
Between 1986 and 1997, he was frequently invited to be a guest speaker and commentator. In 1992, he appeared in Hiseiyasu. In 1992, he appeared in Hiseiyasu Soto's exploitation film called, I'm not going to even attempt the Japanese, but in English, it's Unfaithful Wife, Shameful Torture.
Jesus.
As a sadomasochistic voyager. So basically, he played himself. He has also written restaurant reviews for the Japanese magazine Spa. Sagawa can no longer find publishers for his writing, and he has struggled to find employment. He was nearly accepted by a French language school because the manager was impressed by his courage in using his real name, but employees protested and he was rejected. Sagawa had become so well known at the time of his crime that the Rolling Stones wrote a song about him titled Too Much Blood.
A friend of mine was just Japanese. He had a girlfriend in Paris. He had to date her for 6 months. And then eventually, she said yes. You know? Took her to his apartment. Cut off her head. Put the rest of her body in the refrigerator, in her piece by piece. Put her in the refrigerator. Put her in the freezer. And when her ate her, took her bones to the Bois de Boulogne.
Mick Jagger wrote the song in response to the media hype that surrounded Sagawa's case and wanted to prompt discussion and anti-violence. But it only gave Sagawa something to use to his advantage. He also attempted to make a comic book version of the song following its release.
Of course, it's fucking Japan. There's got to be a manga.
There's got to be a manga.
Yeah.
So the cannibal continued publishing his writings, essays, and delivering his darkest fantasies to readers. In his book, again, not attempting the Japanese, Extremely Intimate Fantasies of Beautiful Girls, he includes illustrations of actresses like Julie Deepley and Audrey Hepburn, who are presumably women that he would enjoy eating.
I would like to have sex with Audrey Hepburn, but not eat her.
Well, Sagawa would like to eat her.
Do you think his impulse, like, I want to eat her or I want to eat her, do you think that's close in the brain to the sexual urge?
Oh, probably.
I'm trying to get into his head, and I'm trying to, like when I see a woman walking down the street that I find attractive, I'm just like, Like, is that similar to his, like, yum
You don't
yum?
say that out loud, do you?
Huh? Just in my head. I wear
licking good.
I wear a muffle and I wear sunglasses everywhere I go.
That's likely for the best.
Yeah, people shouldn't hear what I say. Shit, I have a podcast. Fuck.
So in 2008, Vice profiled the killer. Vice is an online magazine. Profiled the killer with an in-depth interview. In the hard-to-read discussion, Sagawa explained that his desire to eat human flesh began in elementary school, like I said, in grade 1.
When he saw that boy's tasty thigh.
Tasty thigh.
Don't take that out of context, people of the internet.
Yeah. And it deepened after seeing Grace Kelly on film. It was her physical appearance, tall, blonde, and beautiful, that set a precedent for the type of victim that he craved. He explained that his desire was purely sexual and insisted that he never wants to kill anyone. If he could, he would have eaten Hartevelt while she was still alive if she let him.
It's too bad that he didn't know about some, I guess, New Age Western practices. Is he still around these days?
I think he's alive.
Because you can legally buy placentas online to consume.
Yeah.
Haven't they recently debunked that? Like, no, actually, eating the placenta is kind of a dumb idea.
Oh yeah. They've debunked it. Like, lots of wooey women will encapsulate their placenta.
And they pay good money for it, and they're like contaminated with salmonella and all kinds of weird shit like that.
When you say encapsulate, is that drying it and put it into pill
Dry
form?
it, grind it, and put it into gel caps. Yeah.
And then they eat it or swallow it.
I mean, I would eat it once to say I did it.
Yeah.
If anyone's got a placental pill, they'd like to mail me, I'll eat it live on the podcast.
I will not.
I don't know. I've chewed my fingernails. Is that cannibalism?
No.
It's
not. I eat the skin around my nails. It's called autophagia.
Okay. So we're auto cannibals.
Yeah.
I had a friend who eats the skin off her feet.
That's gross. I guess it's no grosser than eating the skin off my fingers.
Yeah. I mean, we're human beings. We're gross. We wear clothes and we act behave. We're gross.
I pick my nose and eat my boogers. I'm 32 years old.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, Sagawa explained to Vice.
Bullshit, you do too. You know you do.
Shut up.
On occasion. Yeah, okay.
We got nowhere to wipe it. Where are you going to put it?
Listener, you know you do too.
You're not going to put it back up your nose.
No, that's grosser.
Yeah, you're not going to wipe it on the other side of the table.
Quick,
it'd be rude not to eat it.
This is a digression.
Mrs. Leon Filger has agreed to eat a cinnamon heart out of my foreskin.
Ooh.
Nice.
So that was, we had talked about it
I remember
yesterday
that.
when
Yeah. And then you
I
showed
said
me
I was
that
going to do it. Yeah. So she's in. We're going to do it, and I'll report back to you.
Report back.
Yeah, call back to that episode. Success.
Yeah, call back to that episode.
Yeah.
So Sagawa explained to Vice, it wasn't like I felt like eating someone every time I was hungry. But you know how you tend to feel a stronger sexual desire after you've eaten a full meal? That's when I would start feeling the urge to eat a girl.
After a full meal?
After a full meal, I just want to sleep and, not have sex. I
went out, because it's payday and my cheat day, I went out to A&W today and I had 2 double matzahs and I felt like sleeping through the afternoon.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So Sagawa described the number of times he tried killing prostitutes prior to the ultimate killing of his classmates. Unfortunately, Hartevelt's kindness led to her demise, which is kind of victim blamey. So that's not true.
Little bit.
Yeah. It wasn't her kindness that led to her demise. It was Sagawa's fuck-upness. She was a friendly, beautiful classmate at the university he was attending, and Sagawa began inviting her over to his home often. He fantasized about killing her every time she was there, and one time he finally pulled the trigger. Again, as I said, he shot her with a rifle, raped her corpse, and feasted on parts of her flesh for days.
That's not even overt kindness, because she's gone over there and been fined multiple times. So
yeah.
She probably wouldn't have suspected a thing.
She just thought that he was like a friend, and instead he wanted to eat her and rape her corpse.
Yeah, a friend that wanted to translate something for her.
Yeah.
Did he cook her first?
I wasn't able to find that information. I think he did.
He tried.
That'd be the sensible thing to do. I would never eat a raw person.
Well, he couldn't bite into her. He had to cut her up.
I understand that. The whole thing is fucked, but I mean, I understand the sensibility behind it.
Yeah. So his interview with Vice becomes increasingly more disturbing as he goes on to describe in great detail, cutting up parts of her body and consuming them. He explains what her flesh looked like, exactly how it tasted, and which parts of her were the best, as though it were commonplace. He questions, frankly, I can't fathom why everyone doesn't feel this urge to eat, to consume other people. Don't you feel like this?
No, I don't.
Me neither.
Well, I don't have a racking need, but I do have a morbid curiosity. Like, if I have the means, I want to order a little bit of placenta and cook it up someday.
No, but hold on. This is a serious question because I've thought about it many times. Mm-hmm. If you had the option, I mean, the victim consented. I don't know how you consent to that, but victim consented, and you had, say, like a calf muscle that was cooked like to a medium rare with some steak sauce, and you know the person like, yeah, fuck. Or say the person's having an amputation, so they're still alive. They consent to you eating that.
And they say, hey, fuck it. Let's eat my leg to say goodbye to it.
I would.
Yeah.
Well, I don't eat meat, so I'm a hard pass.
What if it was a person, though? Is it not vegetarian if the animal consented?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's still gross to me.
I would, too. I think I would.
I would eat it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed I would. I promise. In fact... podcast audience, if you happen to be amputating your leg shortly and you'd like to bring it to us for us to cook, and I will eat it, let me know, because I swear to God I'll do it.
Yeah, I have a tiny, shitty $50 barbecue from Walmart, and I will cook the shit out of your leg and eat it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's 2 of the 3 of the hosts of this podcast are going to eat your fucking leg, so
I'll
let us
take
have
pictures.
it.
I'll be here for it, but
And
I'm
hell,
not going to eat it.
You know what? Whatever week you come with your leg, we will sit you down and you'll be a guest on the podcast, at the very least.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll smoke you up, we'll drink you up. I mean, you're giving us your fucking leg. I mean, what else can we do?
I'm throwing up in my mouth a little bit.
How fucking edgy would that be if we as a podcast got to eat a person?
That's disgusting.
Jesus.
No, it's not.
It is.
Can you imagine? I could send a media release to any outlet in the world and they might
would
print
all
it.
pick it up. They would all pick it up.
Podcast eats fan?
Well, I mean, what if the fan also eats her leg then? Is that not...
You got...
What if we all accept Sage? If Sage takes pictures of you, me, and the fan, now legless fan, eating that fan's leg, I'm totally in.
My grandpa raised chickens, and he would his favorite sandwich was a chicken sandwich, and he'd always feed the chicken to the chickens, and I always thought that was fucked up.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked. That's way more fucked than eating a person.
No, it's just as fucked.
No, it's less.
More. What about beer battered chicken, where you have to baste the chicken meat in an egg, so you baste the chicken in its baby, pretty much.
An egg is not an alive thing.
I'm so fucking hungry right now.
Yeah. You are disgusting.
I'm a little hungry too.
Okay, you guys, that's enough. Let's talk more about cannibalism.
We were trying to.
After killing and eating his friend and getting away with it, he admits that his cannibalistic desires have not left him. He claims the desire to eat female flesh is strongest in the summer months when they wear less clothing.
So this is like a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Because like when it's summer and I see short shorts and stuff, my pervert levels go up at least 30%.
I think everyone's does.
Yeah.
But
I would like to not admit that mine do.
No, they totally do.
I officially don't admit it.
You're a wiener.
I mean, as long as I'm not a creep about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not staring. I'm just like, oh, that's nice. And then I go back to, no, that's a lie. No. Sometimes I go too far.
And because he is a very much a free man, it's alarming to know that he'll be walking the streets like a dog in heat over the summer months. So he just like roams about.
Jesus. I mean, this is why I'm glad I'm a guy, because like, fuck, women have it hard out there. Like, not only do you have creepy dudes leering at you, one of them might be thinking about eating you. I mean, fuck.
Well, dudes eat other dudes too.
Do we?
I don't know.
I don't know that I want
But
to.
what about that cannibal that like found that guy on that website that let himself be cooked and eaten?
I hope I look like I
it's a
taste
thing.
bad.
I know it's a thing, but
do I look like I taste bad? That's what I'm going for.
No, I think you'd be delicious.
Oh, fuck.
One time, I took a pair of underwear, and I pooped, and I didn't wipe, and then I pulled the underwear back up so there was some poop on the underwear, and then I sold it to this dude on the internet for like $40 or whatever it was, and he was very happy. And then a few days later, he texted me and asked if I would go to his house, and he would pay me $50 to pee on him in the bathtub. And I said, no, I can't because I have a shy bladder. And he said, how about I give you a blowjob and $50? The dude wanted to blow me for $50. Blow me, and I get the $50. I said no because it was weird, but
yeah,
he's doing it wrong.
I remember that story.
Yeah, I know.
Before.
I know it's real.
Hey.
It was I met him in the parking lot of the Shoppers Drug Mart at Broadway and Taylor.
Oh, no.
I mean, I respect everybody's got to have a side hustle. And by the way, for $1 a month, you can support us and vote on future episodes. Patreon.com/OVPod.
Yeah.
Yes, OVPod.
Send us some poopy underwear. Or we'll send you some poopy underwear.
Holy shit, the diversions on this episode. Go ahead, Sage.
Oh my god. The Sagawa has never been punished for murdering anyone and has only benefited from his actions. Although he has excelled in life since committing the murder, if you want to say he's excelled in life, a man that eats people, he claims to be remorseful for what he has done, welcoming death at the hands of a woman. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be covered all over with women's spit? If I could die drowning in it, that would be my ultimate dream come true. I'm a cowardly man who killed another person, yet I can't face killing myself. So I guess dying at the hands of a woman would be my way to redemption. What a piece of shit!
Jesus. I mean, let's make his wish come true.
Oh my god. He's just garbage. So in 2005, Sagawa's parents died. He was prevented from attending their funeral, but repaid their creditors and moved into public housing. He received welfare benefits for a time.
He was blocked from attending their funeral?
I don't know why.
Was he in jail?
No, he wasn't in jail.
Maybe their estate said, like, yeah, we don't want our, like, man-eater son or woman-eater son to...
Marijuana crumbs all over my notes.
Oh, that's all right. The ferrets will look it up.
What? I don't think that's good for them.
No, it isn't. No, they don't like raw bud, but when I was borrowing my buddy's vaporizer, they liked the vaped bud. They tried to steal that.
Because it tastes like burnt popcorn.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Another
I'm so sorry.
Another illustration of how shitty this guy was in that same Vice magazine interview in 2011. He said that being forced to make a living while being a known murderer and cannibal was a terrible punishment. Wow.
Oh, you poor baby. You got away with murder, and then you got made rich and famous by it.
Yeah.
Poor you.
Yeah, he's garbage.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, he ate a woman, raped her, and basically got away with it.
Man.
So that's the story of Issei Sagawa.
The justice system is just shit.
Everywhere. It's shit everywhere.
Like, it's punishing innocent people when they shouldn't, and now there's cannibals walking the streets, and they get hungry at summertime, and nobody's doing anything.
And they make, they were in he was in movies, and he wanted to make manga, and I actually looked at some manga. We can probably link to his weird-ass manga.
Man, I was... Part of my mind always hopes that this whole, like, let's make horrible people famous and rich, like, I always hope that was just a meme and that humans would rise above that someday, but I don't think it's actually going to happen.
No, I don't think so. People suck.
I mean...
Except for our listeners. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah, we love you all.
We do. We love you.
But, like, he's a literal murderer and cannibal, and, like, I've read things where fans were seeking him out and sending him letters, and, like...
Yeah, he's quite the celebrity, especially in Japan, like, where he is. Like, he's done a bunch of interviews, and like I said, like, he actually did restaurant reviews. Like, how macabre is that?
Jesus.
I would love to have my restaurant reviewed by a cannibal.
Well, we can probably link to I can look it up right now to see if we can find Issei Sagawa's restaurant review.
Was he like a hidey-tidy foodie? Because, like, just because you eat people doesn't mean your palate is developed enough to review food, does it? Well, I guess I'm reviewing beer, and I don't know shit about beer, so...
I haven't really developed olfactory, so I think I'm pretty decent at reviewing most tasty and smelly things.
Mm. Yeah, my partner Daniel works at a coffee hut, a coffee dispensary place, and...
I used to work at the same coffee dispensary place as her.
Oh, interesting. That's the only place my palate is refined, and I always say that, like, Daniel killed my ability to enjoy shitty coffee forever, because now I know what good coffee tastes like.
I do love Daniel's delicious coffee.
Yeah.
I enjoy Daniel's delicious coffee.
Yeah, there's an interview on Vice. Like, we'll maybe link to the whole link of it. Like, it's really messed up.
Does he speak English?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, here's a snippet from it. I began feeling a strong desire to bite into them, not to kill or eat them per se, but merely to gnaw on their flesh. It was purely a form of sexual desire.
Well, see, it's weird. I can't put my...
You really pick the fucking weird ones.
I do. I pick the fucking weird ones. That's my thing.
He seems like a switch. Like, because he likes the domination of eating someone, but he wants to be humiliated and killed by a woman.
Yeah.
He seems to want it both ways, and if that whole eating people thing is close to a sexual thing...
Mm-hmm. Maybe he says it's close to a sexual thing.
Christ.
But it's gross. There's lots of stuff on the internet if you want to find out more about this guy, but he's really messed up. I hope I haven't killed... Well, I don't know. Maybe I hope that I've killed your desire to eat meat forever.
So once again, if you want to donate your amputated leg to the podcast and, come and visit us, record and all that, ovfeedback@gmail.com. Yeah, once again, we will never get tired of correspondence with you guys. I mean, I live on it. It makes me feel important. So yeah.
Email me. I'm so excited. Someone needs to email me like tonight. Please email me.
Yeah, every contact thing you could have, voicemail, email, all our social medias is all on the website. So feel free to go there, www.ovpod.ca.
Yes. For Occulti Veritatis, I am Sage Murray.
I'm Leon Filger.
And I'm Oud Gallifrey.
Thank you for listening and we love you. Bye.
Yeah, cheers. Don't get eaten. And your palate cleanser for tonight is The Last Ones by Jahzzar. Alrighty, boys and girls, and everything in between, we have a couple new things from Patreon tonight. First off, we have a new $5 patron. His name is Brent Brooks.
Beer.
Welcome to the Patreon family of Occulte Veritatis. He donated at the buy us a beer level, so this episode, drinks were on you. Thank you very much. And one of our patrons decided to upgrade. Alan Lewis went from $1 to $5, so thank you very much for the added support. Again, we're going to be adding to the Black Archive very soon. We have about 3 or 4 things in the work that we're going to throw up in there in the next month, including a scary game playthrough, a readout of some Scientology bullshit, and of course our extended episode for Dahlia Dippolito that I recorded with Daniel, and that's all going to happen within the next month here, so stay tuned for that. Your bonus content is on its way. Alrighty, and we have some hot, fresh off the presses new iTunes reviews coming at you. First off, by Maverick, spelled Maverickd. They say, love the sound production on the show. It sucked me in almost immediately. The compilation on quotes on one of the episodes was amazing also. Can't wait to listen to all of these. I hope everybody listens to all of them. I hope this becomes a bingeable show after a while. That'd be nice. Nice to get those downloads in. Thank you very much, Maverick. I hope my sound production's okay. I am learning this as I go, so I hope my sound editing isn't obnoxious and terrible. So if you like it, I'm happy. Next up by C. Nelson 30. This podcast brings it all together. Entertaining and fun, history and mystery, a little bit creepy and definitely interesting. Oh, thank you. I don't feel put together most of the time, but I thank you for a compliment. I'm glad we put off that impression. I'm glad that the show is entertaining for you, so thank you for the review. Next up is Cam Willett. Fun to look at the hidden truths behind these topics, and that's exactly what we are trying to do here. For those of you that don't know, Occulte Veritatis means hidden truth, and if there's anybody that knows Latin more than I do, please don't correct me, don't burst my bubble, because I've created a whole podcast surrounding this subject. Leon and Sage have created this podcast surrounding that subject, and we don't want to have our bubbles burst, so just let us live in ignorance. We're finding hidden truths, and I'm glad you can come on the journey with us, Cam Willett. So if you guys want to give us some 5-star reviews on iTunes, that's a great way to put us up the charts, get our earballs on our podcast a little more often. That's one of the best ways to fire us up the charts. Anyways, I've been Ood Gallifrey with the After Show. I love you all very, very much. I'm very thankful that this podcast is going nicely. Also, Vermont? Yes, the state of Vermont, you're on notice. I checked the Libsyn stats. You're the only state in the USA that hasn't downloaded any of our episodes. So until somebody from Vermont downloads any, you're officially on notice, Vermont. Don't let me down. To the rest of you, have a beautiful evening and a wonderful holiday. Have a wonderful night.